So in the last lecture, you saw that when we load this page, our to-dos heading is animated, but our to-do items are not. Let's see what's going on here. The reason we have this problem is because of this hierarchy. So in this hierarchy, we have two animation triggers. This is the parent trigger, to-dos animation, and this is the child trigger. Now back to our component. Both these triggers handle the enter transition. In this situation, when the enter transition happens, the parent trigger will always get priority and the children will be blocked. In other words, this code is not executed at all. How can we fix this problem? Very easy. In the parent trigger, just like how we queried our heading, we need to query our to-do items and allow their animations to run. So after this query, I'm going to add another query. Now here we want to get the to-do items. One way is to use a CSS selector. For example, back to our template. Here each to-do item is a button with the class, list, group, item. So we can use this selector, or we can use one of the pseudo selector tokens. So we can select these elements by this animation trigger applied to them. So we can add @ to do animation. And now here we need to add the steps for animating these child elements. So we can have one step or multiple steps with an array. Now we have already implemented what should happen when these elements enter the view here. We don't want to repeat this there. So what we need to do is to simply tell Angular to run this animation. So we use another helper function called animateChild. Now, once again, here we have one step, so we don't need to put it in an array. Let's clean this code and get rid of these ugly brackets. So this is the end result. We have a trigger called to-dos animation. Here we have an enter transition. We have multiple queries, one for the heading and the other for our to-do items. And by calling the animateChild, we tell Angular not to block these animations. Let's see what happens. Refresh the page. Here's our heading and our to-do items. Beautiful. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to here is that these animations are run in sequence. So first the heading is animated. When it's done, then the to-do items appear. Let's see this one more time. Refresh, heading, and then the to-do items. In the next lecture, I'll show you how to run these in parallel.